Okay, so it's 3:49 on the 19th, which is Wednesday, which is payday, so I'm going to go out today and go get, and I can't find that thing on Amazon, supposedly this $25 meal thing. I'm going to go to Winco. Albertsons also is doing, I think, a bunch of grocery stores. You buy a certain amount of money and you get a free turkey, and I'm getting the turkey for the dogs. So I'm going to go to Winco to go get my free turkey and buy some more groceries because every year I make us dinner. So I'm going to make like stuffing, mashed potatoes, jams. What the fuck? I feel like something's attacking my throat. So mashed potatoes, stuffing, yams, green beans. I may make this corn thing that I keep seeing this recipe going around. And then some Jell-O salad, a pie, cranberry. Stella's been having it for her whole life. So anyway, she loves it. And it's always gives me tons of leftovers. So they can eat it for days. So anyways, I'm going to do that. I don't know that I'm going to do it on that certain day. But I'm going to get my turkey, start thawing it out because I've only got my mini oven to cook it in. So when I don't have a grill before the last, because when did my oven break? God, that's weird. Because now this is, so November, so a year. I was still in my cabin last Thanksgiving. Because it was January 1st. It was like, as soon as Donald was going in, it was right before he was about to be sworn in, is when they took my place, which I still think that there's a holdup. I still keep getting emails and stuff like, oh, you could sell your place for this much. So I don't know. I asked my sister to check on it in the title company, and she says all she can see is the Whatcom County foreclosed and the bank owns it. But it's just sitting there. But I feel like we'll see. We'll see when things play out. But I feel like the banks are going to have to give people back their homes. Like, there's going to be a lot of homes that are going to... We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how it all works out. But anyways, but last year, yeah, I was still at the other place. But, so, and they reduced the amount of electricity that could come into my house when I refused the smart thing that is the meter outside. So when I refused that, suddenly everything in my house stopped working. And so I didn't go buy a new oven. I went and bought a toaster oven. And so I just started using that. And that's where I was like, what the hell do we have all this shit for? Like, we have these things. They tell us we need them, but... And so, and my grill was all wonky too. That's why I didn't even bring it, because I need a new grill. But I don't have one here. But that's how I cooked my turkey the last couple years. So, but this time I'm going to just section it or quarter it or something, and then just cook it sections at a time. Maybe even boil some of it. Because you boil chickens. Why can't you boil some turkey? Like, does it? I don't know. Because the dogs are the ones eating it. They don't care. They probably eat it raw. So, anyways, I am a wreck. I'm a fucking wreck. I don't even know. What the fuck? This energy is so fucking intense, and it just keeps building. Like, I feel like, fuck, I can't, man, I feel like a fucking wreck. I feel so fucking, like, anxious, like, and everything keeps playing, like, my mind is going so fucking fast. There's a boom, 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 boom. And and so I mean, I don't even know. It's like all these things though have happened, so that could be, but I feel like a big part of it is the energy on the planet, you know, going through and, you know, rising and whatever, and then knowing, just it's like feeling something's coming, and it just is like, it feels so close. And it's like, I don't know what it is. Is it something personal in my own life? Like, I start, like I said, like, things just keep going. And it's like, is it like I know that I'm losing my best friend? Like, I just can't even, fuck, man. God damn. I don't want to get her to the med bed thing. It's just like, it sucks if I'm, fuck. But that, definitely, it's like some of the time during the days and stuff, it's just like, is she just letting me know that she's on her way out? Oh, fuck. And I've gotten like that before. Like even back at the, back at the 6.5 year point when she got so sick. There was a point then where I was like, oh my God, am I losing her? I've had these happen a few times, but like I said, something just is like impending. And then I go through it like, could it be this? Could it be that? Could it be this? Could it be that? I just don't know. So I don't know if it's something in my personal life. But I feel like a wreck. I feel like, hold on. These dogs, man. Go over there and chew on that. I just saw this video talking to him. It's the cutest thing. It's somebody has made this, like it's two dogs doing a podcast and they're always talking about stuff. One's a golden retriever and one's like a pug. And they're, which I have a pug and a pug mix, and I had a golden retriever. So, anyways, but they're always talking about things. And this morning I saw this one, like, why do, they follow you from room to room? Why are they just on your ass all the time? And they said it's because when they first meet you, they size you up. And when they size you up, they're sizing up if you're safe. They're picking up on your energy and stuff. So they determine the safety of you. And so it's a connecting with your soul. And then once they connect, they said that their heartbeat goes into sync with your heartbeat. And so it's they follow you around because it's like this. It's like you're linked. It's like it's like this link. I don't know. It was interesting how they were saying it, but I was like, oh, because I do have them that follow me everywhere. And especially Ruthie loses her fucking mind. But yesterday I had a totally another traumatic situation, which is making me sick. And I don't know if this is the thing. Plus that show I watched, Malice, it was so disturbing. It just like was a real downer, which I was like, fuck, man. One of those kind of lingering things. The same as like We Are Liars. Don't fucking watch that unless you want to be fucking depressed. This is also like, and the thing that was so troubling with this one is that the protagonist, or is it the antagonist, the problem person, so I think it's the antagonist, the antagonizer or something. But anyways, I could have it flipped, I don't know. But he was so horrible. God, he was a monster. Like, people would have no compassion or empathy or spooky. And this guy played it, man. He was so, and it just like, man, this thing that happened in Chicago yesterday. I swear to God, I'm just feeling sick. I'm like, God damn, this world is so fucking insane. And what in the hell with these fucking gangs of kids? Like, oh my gosh, and how do you go and attack? And then the woman was pregnant. And they didn't even just stop with her. They attacked her kids too. They had them down on the ground, beating them and kicking them and hitting them and stuff. And it's like, what in the world? Can you imagine if you were the mother of one of these people? Do they even have mothers? Are they just, I just don't even know. There's such a breakdown in our society at this point. It's like, it's so broken. And all you can see is like, it's just broken. Everywhere's fucking broken. fuck. Men kill their pregnant wives. Men kill their whole families. Women kill their whole families. It's like, what in the world? The kids are out of control. They don't even know how to fucking learn. Nobody knows who the fuck they are. What the fuck is going on? People will argue and argue and argue. Just like, oh my God. I feel sick, man. I feel so sick. Like, I just feel like I could just puke over, and it isn't that kind of sickness. It's a sickness of, like, my heart. My heart hurts. My soul hurts. Yesterday, the dramatic thing with, that is lingering on me hard, that is making me just feel sick, was, so I was feeding them, and I even heard when I was doing it. So I went over and started making my, I have to add all of these different powders into my tea thing. So I have a whole mix, and it was almost gone. So I was like, while they're eating, I'm going to go ahead and start mixing it up. And then I heard loud and clear, you better get over there and watch. Don't be fucking distracted. And I didn't go fast enough. I was like, okay, just a minute, I'm almost done. No, it wasn't fast enough. I don't know what happened. It seems that usually it is Max lingers and moseys over and goes over and starts doing something to Ruthie's dish, which anybody else can, but Max, no. I don't know what she has it out for Max. And he's so fucking passive. That was why you even got him to begin with, was because Stella was so in your face, you know, just rah, rah, rah. She's very opinionated. And so when he came and he wasn't triggered by her at all. He'd just sit there, you know, and she'd be bitching, and he'd still be like, I'm your best friend. And they'd go walking, and, you know, and so I was like, oh my God, this dog's perfect for her. He's a companion. He likes her. She is bitch. And but he, you know, he has his bad sides too. Like, you can tell him move, you can call him. He just, you know, so, that's one thing my brother keeps being like, because when my brother's here, he lets all the dogs out to play, which freaking psycho Ruthie, he said he couldn't find her, so he starts calling her. She was out in the river. She was stuck. She couldn't figure out how to get back out. So, like, oh my gosh, she is such a fucking mental case. And, so anyways, but he just takes off. He just takes off. And that's why I told my brother, that's why I gotta have a fence. He just takes off. He doesn't give a shit. And so my brother said, yeah, he doesn't come when you call. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He just goes when he just goes. So my brother is seeing more and more every time. And he's always like, he just doesn't come when you call. I'm like, no, never. And as a matter of fact, he goes the other direction. And so so I was feeding them their supper. And then I hear a fight break out. So I go over there, and I don't ever have anything. I've ordered a foghorn now. They, you know, I was like, I was so troubled last night, and then it was like, get a foghorn. I was like, a foghorn? Foghorn? What? So I got up. It wouldn't shut up. So I got up, and I put it into my Amazon cart, so I could look at it, you know, and try to figure out, like, a foghorn. What am I figuring? A foghorn? And so then in the foghorn thing, it says for animal, like, you can use it if you're going for a walk and you're worried a dog could attack you, bear attacks, for all sorts of things. So I was like, okay, we'll get a foghorn. And then in the review, some people are like, it's way too loud. And then some people are like, you gotta have your ear things in. So I don't know. We'll put earbuds in, like, or ear blocker things. I used to have some. I gotta find some. But when I'm feeding them to prepare, I don't know. Today I fed them in different rooms. It's like I need to just keep doing that. But this fight, and Stella, so I don't even know if I can set this picture out. So it was So Max he's like 40 pounds or something. And luckily he has a sweater on too. Like, fuck. I think the sweater protected him. Even though Ruthie was going for his goddamn fucking throat, she ripped his ear and stuff. It's like, is she fucking psychotic? I don't know that I've ever had this aggressive of a dog. And I don't know, like, well, when I'd gotten Millie and I brought her back, she kept attacking Stella. And to the point where I just took her back. I was like, no fucking way, I can't deal with this. Stella can be just walking the room and she just dives off the fucking couch and jumps onto Stella and starts tearing her up. And so I was like, no way. It isn't about food or anything. It's just this dog has it out for my baby. And, but that's what I feel like I'm dealing with Ruthie some of the time, is like she goes insane. And so Max is being attacked by Ruthie has got him on the side. Stella is standing up above them, barking her head off, trying to get them to stop, which there was none. Archie is team Ruthie. And so he just is always looking for trouble. He's always looking for a fight. Let's get in there. Let's shake things up. He's always looking for something. Like sometimes he just walks in and just starts trying to kick Max's ass just because he just feels like it. Max is always getting picked on. And he's very passive. And because Ruthie will fucking fuck with Archie, but Archie will fucking fuck right back. Like, fuck you, bitch. And he even tries to taunt her. So he's not scared of her at all. He just jumps right up and fucking goes right on her. So anyways, they were both on Max. And Archie was at the back going at him. And Ruthie was on the side going at him. And Stella's standing above him. And I'm standing on the other side trying to figure out, what do I do to stop this? How do I stop it? And so I smack Ruthie on the butt as hard as I can. I mean, it's like a smack. I mean, it's not like you're punching them. I don't even know how much force. I mean, but it was like I tried to smack her on the ass to get her to stop. And didn't even phase her. Didn't even, nothing. So then I grabbed her again by the nape of and she's big. It's not like easy with the puppy, but there is, since she still is a puppy, grabbing her by the nape of the neck, like, because that's what their moms do, and yanked her and pulled her. So I got her off and I threw her in, like I opened the door because they were close to the bathroom door. So I opened the bathroom door and I threw her in there and shut the bathroom door. Max is there, or Archie's not even stopping. He's still, and the whole thing is the screams from Max. I mean, it makes me want to cry. He was fucking screaming. It was traumatizing. And I didn't know how bad he was getting hurt. The only thing I found is somebody bit him somehow on the ear or something. It didn't even penetrate. Like when Millie attacked Stella, she bit holes in Stella's ears and stuff. But I couldn't find anything. So I don't know if it just got scratched. I don't know how hard they were really doing it, but they had him down and he was screaming. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It makes me so sick. And, I lost my mind. I fucking lost my mind, man. I was hollering. I had an empty box. Threw the box down and I'm like, God damn it. And they were all just like, because once I pulled Archie off, which is scary too, is because you got to watch out. And we were camping once, and my golden retriever got in a fight with my daughter's black lab, and they were going at it like full force. And my daughter stepped in to try and stop him. She got the giantest bite on her leg, and there keeps being video after video after video of these people who try and break up a dog fight and end up getting mauled to death. So, because the dogs turn on them, which Stella would not allow that. But still, it's still scary when you're trying to break up a dog fight. And the only thing is, like, Archie's smaller, so it was like, I could probably punt him. So I was like, I don't know how I yanked him, what I did. I yanked him off or something. And it's weird because all of a sudden, when they go out of this mode of murder mode, all of a sudden it's like, what's happening? What's going on here? It's like they're all just like split personality. Who are you talking to? It's like, I'm talking to you, bitch. Like, Jesus Christ. So I was just hollering and cussing, and I was loud. I was definitely loud. That's a good thing I don't have like neighbors close by. So I'm yelling at the dogs all the time like a crazy person. So I was hollering and I was in the other room. Stella, she just goes calm. She just sits down. She's like, she doesn't worry if I start hollering, I guess. I think that there has been times before where she's retreated, but she didn't go in panic mode or anything. Archie, he was like going and trying to like hide and looking at me. And I was like, I'm fucking pissed, dude. That is not acceptable. And I went into her and I grabbed her and I took her and threw her out the back door. And I said, get out back. But she had already had an accident here, which I don't know if it's because she's just not going to bother holding it or if she was traumatized because I was screaming and yelling and she was isolated in this room. So I put her outside and made her stay outside for a while. I made them both stay outside for a while. And I don't know. I just don't know. So my things I'm trying is I'm feeding them separate. I cannot do one thing without, I got to be right on top of them the whole time. But feeding them separate in separate rooms, because normally they're fed across the room from each other. But then whoever finishes first moseys around to scrounge, see if anybody's left anything. And obviously Ruthie loses her motherfucking mind. And so but she's not going to mess with Stella so much. Because Stella is gone, you know, at her a few times because she gets so crazy. And she's gone at her a few times. And Ruthie's scared of Stella. So she is not, she doesn't try, I bet, you know, she's still a puppy. And so, you know, when she gets bigger, there could be a head-to-head thing. So anyways, but my idea, or, you know, what I was given was the foghorn thing, and given like that whole kind of concept of the Pavlov, you know, thing, which is also kind of the concept with the bells. So you do something and it's like a consistency. So the bells, like you have the bells hanging on the door, or when in the movie I had seen it in, they had like a little bell that was hooked on the side of the wall, and the dog would walk up and hit the bell. But my bells hang on the doorknob, hang down. I just get like, I mean, right now is a good time to get them because you get Christmas bells, so you can get all sorts of different bells. And so, anyways, but every time you open the door and you're going out, you just keep saying the same thing. Outside, potty. And so whatever it is you want them to learn what the bells are for. So then they start using the bells. Stella started using the bells, like I said, for communication. She wanted to treat, she'd go over and hit the bells because she knew I'd get up. And so she starts figuring out how to work the bells. But it gives them a consistent thing, because the Pavlov test thing was, I think it was something about food or something. I don't remember. You can look it up, but it was like they would hear a bell and then they would get a TREAT or something like that. And so then when they would hear a bell, they would want the thing. So it is like you put this conjoined thing in. So this happens, then this happens. This happens, and this happens. And it like implants into them. And so this is, when she gets out of control, I'm just going to blast that thing. And so it's, so when she sees, like when she gets out of control, let's horrendous noise comes in. So it kind of like, well, I don't want that. I don't want that. So it kind of will break her. Because the water bottle thing, you know, works a lot when it's just the two of them, Archie and Ruthie, going crazy and jumping on everything and sliding across the bed, jumping off chairs and shit. Because it's like, go outside if you're going to act like that. And this room is not that big. We fucking have fucking action battle in here. And so that's when I can be like, I'm gonna get the water bottle. And Archie right away, he stops like, hell no. He does not like water, which she is not a fan, because like the other day when it was raining and I was trying to get her to go out, she's like, oh fuck no. I had to push her to make her go out. She's like, no, what the hell is this shit? Like, what's going on here? Because she's a puppy. She hasn't had all these experiences yet. So but the water is good with the stopping, even though my water bottle sucks ass. I don't know what the fuck. Every time I get these fucking water bottles, they always end up not working. They're trying to squeeze. I need to get a whole nother water bottle. I'm getting another one today at the store. When I go to the store, I'm getting a fucking new water bottle. And so, so that is already a deterrent, but that's not going to stop a fucking fight when it was going, because they really do, like, something in them takes over. They become different. And so, yeah, I got to somehow break this out of Ruthie, especially being a pit bull, because you cannot be, like, losing her mind. She's going to end up, you know, in getting herself into a big situation. And so, anyways, but I mean, it was horrendous listening to Max scream. Oh my God, it was so horrible. It broke my heart. So, you know, I don't want to experience that ever again. But I don't know. It seems like it's more than that, of the overwhelmed feeling I feel today. It's like, because I'll think of something else. I can think of going to the store. It's like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. Think of any of this stuff. Because then this morning, what did I see? Was Mount Rainier. So Mount Rainier, like I've said before, I'll say it again. It's the volcano that is, so my kids live, so if you take Washington State, so, okay, you take Washington State, like this, okay, like this, okay, here we got Washington State. So over here, this would be the east side. So over here would be Idaho. And so Idaho is right next to it. Right below is Oregon. And so Oregon's here, Idaho's here. And so when you come down here where I'm at now, I'm next to Oregon. Up here, you'd leave Spokane, you'd be in Idaho in 15 minutes. You're just right there. And then when I lived over here in Maple Falls, then that was 15 minutes to Canada. So Canada was right there. And so then here is the coast. So you have Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia and stuff. But there's a part that's a peninsula. And then you have Bellingham. So Bellingham will probably, but see, Bellingham, so I would be more down here. So Bellingham was out from me over here. So if the water comes in, it has to cross through the peninsula and stuff, which then you have the San Juan Islands out here too, which I think they're going to be destroyed. But so as comes in, it's supposed to come in like 100 miles. Well, I was 30 miles from the ocean. So it was 30 miles. So Seattle, though, and Tacoma and Olympia, that's where it starts being like actually on the coastline. Part of Seattle is kind of got the peninsula thing, but it's like the water. So like the ocean and then this peninsula thing starts, I think, like right by Seattle. I'd have to look at the map again, but it seems like that. So then it starts having like a gap. So you have this land going out here. And then you have this water. And then you have the city. So then this is like the San Juan Islands too. So, and San Juan Island start up by Seattle. So, but somehow there's a gap though. But when you're out, it just looks like ocean. It's like you don't just see like other land over there, because then it, however it goes, because then you can be in parts of Bellingham and go to the ocean and you can see Vancouver. So anyways, but there's parts that are going to be right on the ocean. So whatever happens, like a volcano goes in the ocean, then it sets off a tsunami. Some of these places are going to be wiped out. The most populated places are going to just be boom. And then, so then when you go, okay, so down here is Oregon. And then down here is Yakima. So over on this whole thing is the Cascades. So all this whole mountain range, which goes up into Canada. So it goes up into Canada. And I'm not even sure how far down it goes, because then Colorado's the Rocky Mountains. So I'm not sure where this mountain range starts or whatever. But this is the Cascades. And the Cascades, I don't know, have a few volcanoes. And so one of them is Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is because no, it was Sonoma. It was the pass that I was having. It was Snohomish Pass that I have to cross. Because Mount Rainier I had to cross when I went that road trip to go down to California. It was intense, man. Fuck, it was intense. It was like going on this like cliff. It was really pretty, but it was like, fuck, don't take your eyes off the road. It was fucking intense. And then, so it was kind of going down. But I would have to cross the mountains to go across. And every way to cross, it's all mountain range. So you can't get to this side of the state without crossing these mountains. And so this side of the state, when this shit goes down, is going to be isolated, because they're going to have to get across the mountain range. And so, anyways, Mount Rainier, though, is, I think it's called, I don't know, it's a volcano. Because I was thinking, I thought that was like Mount Adams or something is the volcano. But I don't know, because you have Mount St. Helens, I think Mount Adams, Mount Baker, Mount Rainier, and there's another one, because there's 5 volcanoes in Washington State. And so and they're all like right in here. There could be some out here, but this is like in this part, this is like the plains. This is like farm land, like, which is fucking so much of this and so much of this. There's so much fucking land out there. It's so ridiculous. Overcrowded bullshit. So, anyways, but Yakima is down here. And so, okay, so if this, because that is, so if that thumb was off of there, like if that just went like this, and then down here, like my thumb is the beginning of Oregon, say. So Yakima is way down here. So the Tri-Cities is way down here. And so it would be Yakima here and the Tri-Cities here. Because when I come down to come where I'm at now, I come down, go through the Tri-Cities and go down this way into Oregon, then cross all through their mountains to get over here to Idaho, which I'm 15 minutes from Oregon at this place. So every place is always like right at the border. I've not lived right in the middle, but it's like a lot of farm open land. It's just a lot of land, but it's not all flat. You go through a lot of like mountainy kind of roads, but nothing like the passes. The passes are intense. And then it's real heavily populated over here by the ocean. So Mount Rainier, last month was having, and so it's right above my kids though. So my kids are in Yakima, and it's Mount Rainier is like right above. Like you can be outside and you look up and there's Mount Rainier. And so it's close. And it also is going to be a big separator, I think. And this, we got this whole thing going in this volcano that's off of Oregon coast. So it's in the ocean. This one that the scientists are one thing that the scientists had seen, it was blasting. There was these blasts of something coming up, and it was air or something coming up in the ocean floor. So it's very unsettled down there, or there's a mothership breaking through. Something's going on. So and they're saying it's picking up whatever's going on, whatever they're watching that's getting worse. And they're saying it's going to go, it's going to go, it's going to blow. And they're saying, you know, within the next couple months, which before it was supposed to be, I swear to God, it was like by September it's going to, and then it was like by November. Well, we're in November, but they keep being like, it's going to go, it's going to go. So, and I don't know. I know that these things are going to go at some point because the landmass is going to change, because it's just the way it's going to go. It's just like the populated places are going to go down and new places are going to start. So so whatever's going off the Oregon coast with this volcano that's out in the ocean, they're saying, which don't forget, the one in Russia a couple months back, when it was like a 8.5 earthquake that happened or something, and a tsunami or something from that one. And that one was out in the ocean. So it can cause a lot of problems, even though you think, well, it's out in the ocean. But there's like an aftermath. There's some, you know, it causes problems. And because the tectonic plates, you know, it's a lot of the stacking, just like our realities are stacked, but they're like this stacking and everything is shifting. So it's pulling apart, moving, and that causes more rippling of all of the energy of all of the plates shifting and stuff. So it causes more to be unsettled and more things. It's just like the distress of the whole planet. So Mount Rainier, like last month or something, I'm so messed up on time, but it seems like it was like last month. It could have been earlier in the summer or something, but it seems like it was recent. Then they had a swarm of earthquakes. So they said like 200 earthquakes or something in one day. And then it kind of settled down. And so everything was kind of settled. But then this guy who I just saw this morning was showing that there's a whole activity going now on whatever it is they watch, which looks like a lot of like seismic things or something, like a lot of graphs. It has red and blue are the colors, and you know, like you'd think you'd want it to be, but then when it starts going crazy and all the colors are going crazy, then it's like, so I think it was the 16th. He said, and he was showing the graphs and stuff. So, but I think it was, he was saying the 16th is when it started. And so it started having movement. Something started happening. And then it's only picked up. It's only gotten worse and worse. Right now, it's like all big, lots of big lines and all merging into each other. So he said, something's going on. And we don't know, though, because it could be the same thing as happened last time. And all of a sudden it calms down again. And then it starts back and then calms down. So I don't know, but that's like right above my kids, which I told them all, you've got to, I mean, I've said this on here so many times. I tell people all the time, you have got to know your way around without navigation. And they've got people so dependent on navigation. People don't know their way around. Without their phone, they don't know how to get from here to there. They know how to get to work. They know how to get to the store. But then, you know, they don't know their way to get to other places without the phone. And another thing, too, that people need to know is you need to know the back way. Everybody goes straight as to the interstate. So the interstate gets completely blocked. And besides the fact that these people who are in control of our movement, they do things to hesitate the movement. So they will, there'll be a wreck. There'll be big trucks blocking the way, something always. So so then the people get stuck. Nobody's moving. So the interstate's very controlled. And then people will sit there in a lot of these places where they've been, what is that called when they tell everybody to leave? Expelled? No, well, you know what I'm saying. When they come in and say, oh, everybody needs to leave, which I had heard also that on a different video, I think yesterday, that low key that they're going around to some of the cities and places along the coastline, and they're evacuating some places in preparation for something, but nobody knows what they're preparing for. Well, this big thing that's coming is what they're preparing for. If that's even really happening, I don't know. But so evacuations, so when they go and they evacuate, like huge groups, because this has happened in Florida a few times. So they say, okay, everybody's got to go. And so all the people rush to the area, and they all go straight ass to the interstate because they don't fucking know any other way to go around or get around. So then the interstate becomes completely full, where people are sitting there for days on the interstate not moving, and people run out of gas. And they've shown that in the movies. They're always showing it on the movies where the people are like walking or whatever, and they're just going down these roads with cars just stopped everywhere. It's because they all run out of gas. And then plus we don't even know also with their power grid situation, when all these solar flashes and power goes out and stuff, like, is that really going to affect some of these computer cars and stuff? They get us all on these computer cars. And so is that really going to affect that? Because they have been doing that with like these Teslas and stuff. So there can be something that just stops the cars, and the cars stop moving. And but they definitely, this has already been happening. Like that happens in the movies, but this has already been happening. Well, they've already been stopping the Teslas too. But but in the evacuations that have been occurring, there's always some fucking thing that's blocking somewhere down way past where anybody can see, because everybody's clogged on the interstate for days, sitting there. And then they start trying to get off and go get gas, and the gas stations run out of gas. It's like a fucking fuck show. It's like, it's bullshit. And then I would see videos of people on the state highway, and they're just zooming. So when you know the back ways around, you know how to get around, then you can get the fuck out. Otherwise, you're like trapped. And so I've been, I'm always telling people, like, you got to learn your way around, and you need to learn the back roads. You can't just be dependent on what the road they're offering for you to go. Be it, you got to go the road less traveled in order to find your way out, because you use the one that everybody's on. It's controlled. And so, and I've told my kids and told my kids, it's like when the stuff goes down, like if that friggin' Mount Rainier were to go off, which everything is like, we're so close to something big and you just don't know what it is. And there's signs over here, signs over there. Oh, this is happening, that's happening. It's like, fuck, man, you just don't know. And is it all going to just fucking domino? Is this going to happen? Then this, and this is just going to keep going all of a sudden. And which it seems kind of like that's what's going to happen. Like something's going to happen. It's just going to go shoo. And there's going to be things happening nonstop. That's going to be really crazy. So, in that Sammy Hagar song that he wrote, because after his being taken, he said, if 50 years, we'll all know, we'll all see, and the split will occur. And so, from the time he wrote that song, I think it is 2026 is when that goes. But then you have all of these people, the astrologers, which, are they just reading the potential of what could be and on what map or what calendar. My daughter said that where she's at, it's the year 2058. It's 2058 in Thailand or something. In Ethiopia, it's like 2012 or something. Like, we're not all in the same worlds. We're all in different places. We're all in different spaces. We're all in different realities. And then we're crossing into other realities. So anyways, I said 2058, and she's, yeah, they're not on the same calendar as us. Like, man, I just is weird because there's so many things you just don't know or realize unless you are at certain places. And the places we're on the same thing are the places that are the most controlled by the overseers. And so anyways, the ripple out of one thing happens, and it just keeps hitting into more things. Something is close. We're close to it. You got to be prepared. You got to have, because if the power goes out and you can't use your phone, which that's going to be like just sitting out. Like, look at some of these kids without a device. They can't even fucking sit through school all day. Like, what are we going to do when the devices go down and it's down for weeks? God damn, I'm so glad I don't have fucking teenagers at this point. Especially at the current group, because they're so dependent on some of this stuff, and they lose their fucking minds. I mean, they're going out and beating up pregnant women. Like, fuck, dude. Gangs of them are like killing each other. Like, it's, oh my God, this world is so wacky. So, but having food that you can make, like if you have a grill, you can have food, but you got to have something to eat. Otherwise, you're going to think you're starving. And, but you got to also remember, you won't starve. That's a whole something that they just told us to get us to be in their food system. And to control our intake. Because, you know, when you are, I mean, you learn this off the movies, you know, when you're poisoning somebody, you gotta give them a little bit all the time. So you gotta have something to eat, which I still have peanut butter and crackers. It's like, wow. And I did order another bag of dog food this morning of kibble. I was like, fuck, I'll just give them kibble every meal. And until something occurs, which you want to when shit goes down, because there's going to be so many people who are going to lose their fucking minds. I mean, even some of these people will be like, it's Dawn's fault. Let's go get him. Like, who knows how wacky it's going to get. Like, it's already so fucking wacky. And so it's not going to be like safe. And grocery stores and stuff aren't going to be open. There's not going to be people out working. Or it's going to be crazy out there. People will be looting. They'll be panicking. There could be people like trying to break into people's homes. It's going to be really crazy. And so it is way more of, you know, like being prepared so that you don't have to go anywhere. You can just stay home and buckle down and ride it out. And so having different things to be able to eat, you got to have water, because they're saying like the water could not be coming on. So you got to have some kind of water, which I'll tell you, with us, I swear to God, we go through 3 gallons at least a day. Like, I can't believe when you are having water in a container and you're using it, it's like you really get the idea of how much water you go through. And that's not even showering or anything. You better forget about it. You're going to be taking showers and shit. So just to be able to have water to drink. And so we go through so freaking much water. So that is, you got to have a lot. You got to be thinking, and this is 4 dogs and a person. So you got to be thinking of like your family size and how much water you really do need for each person. I would think like if you're going to try and do those little plastic bottles or something, you need to have quite a few of those 24 packs or whatever. You got to have a bunch. I think maybe I'll get one of those again today too, even though I'm going to fill up my water jugs. But, and I'm always going and getting them filled. I kind of feel like, man, should I get another one? Fuck. So right now I have 5 of those, and then I have 6-gallon ones. I use the gallon ones for the dogs, to fill their water things and stuff. But, so altogether I have 6, let's see, because I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31 gallons of water, which I would say that would probably last maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. So that's, you know, that's one adult and 4 dogs. So and I'm thinking maybe I'll get another 5-gallon jug today. I'm going to see how much this stuff is, because I got to spend $125 to get the free turkey. So that would be what I get if I need to spend another 10 or something, is get another one of those water jugs, I think. So, because maybe that would be better than just getting all the little bottles. Because to get the little bottles, it takes a couple of those to put into the dog dish. So I may as well just get another big one. So, but anyways, yeah, you got to be prepared with the water. You got to be prepared with food that you don't have to cook. Even if, you know, you get just a whole bunch of granola bars and crackers or something. Just something to survive off of. And, because this is going to really show people, like, you know, you don't just sit down and have, you know, 3 meals a day. You'll be fine. And, so, we've got that. And then, knowing how to, like, if shit goes down and you're near a hot spot, knowing how to get the hell out of there, and knowing how to maneuver in the back ways so that you are not going through all of the chaos. And so who knows? I mean, always in the movies, they show this time period of being so chaotic, like with a military stepping in. Well, we've already supposedly got military out around preparing for whatever's going to go down. And somebody has said now that there's a mothership out off of Florida, because there's one that was above the naval base. No, not above it was one of the bases. Not necessarily naval. I'm not sure which one, but maybe they're all fucking naval over there. I don't know. But it was above one of them. And the one that it was above, I think, is one that is always having only fucking goddamn killings going on there. Women disappearing. Like, what the hell? Our world is so fucking wacky, man. So dangerous. It's just so fucking painful. But now there's also one supposedly off the coast, but it's in the water. So it's lingering in the water, and it has all these little orbs and shit coming up from it. So, you know, I mean, there's no telling what fantastic thing is going to happen. It's going to be something that's going to be like outrageous, fantastic, something, you know, that we don't see coming, something just like, what? Who would have thought? I mean, how many times does that keep going? And people are like, well, that wasn't on my bingo card. Well, I sure didn't see that coming. Oh, well, it's coming bigger. It's going to be bigger. And it's going to be where we're all just like, because it's the thing that changes humanity. It's the thing that just blows shit out of the water. It's the thing that, you know, stops us in our tracks. And, that one video that I said the other day that I had made the comment, it was the lady who was talking about Sammy Hagar, and she was talking about him being abducted. He talked about it like on Howard Stern show or something, in some interview, and he was talking about he got abducted when he was a kid or something, and they showed him all this stuff. And so then years later, when he became a musician, he did this song. And that's a song where he says, in 50 years, we'll all see the truth. We'll all know. Everything will be seen and stuff like that. And he said, it will divide. We're going to divide. And I don't remember what song it is, but it's going around. It's like you can just probably look it up. Like, put in Google search or whatever on your, not necessarily Google, but on your social media. I'm sure you can just search Sammy Hagar and it'll pop up somewhere in your stuff. And then you can hear which song it is and what he is saying. But so I had said in that comment, I had said about the divide is not going to be red or blue. It's going to be between, like, compassion and love, separating from hate and control. It's like freedom is separating from control. And so I get I have people commenting all the time on my comments, on this comment. So every day I'm getting people who are commenting on my comment, saying stuff to me about it. And so in this one that I had just gotten this morning, this person was saying, oh, I agree, but it is going to be red or blue or, what would they say? They said red or blue, a darker light, but also they said, good or bad. Yeah, that was what it was. The divide will be between good and bad, red and blue, and dark and light. It's like, this is what's got people in their ego. And this is where you got to look at yourself and see, why do you think, how do you determine who's good and who's bad? Like, it's because of what you feel about it. So I feel this, so they're bad. Well, they feel that, so they look at you as you're bad. That's the divide. Like, you can't sit here and like I've said a zillion fucking times, the universe does not look at good and bad. There is no good or bad. Everything is just, it is what it is. It's experience. It's an opportunity to learn. So they don't look at it as like, oh, that's good and that's bad. They're a good one, they're a bad one. They don't look at it like that at all. And you come in doing both things all the time. You're playing both parts. And even in this life, you have some people think you're bad and some people think you're good. It's like, how do you even come to that idea that the world's gonna divide into good and bad? That is, I don't know, it's an ignorant way to look at how the divide is gonna occur. And then red and blue, are you fucking kidding me? You're taking this red and blue thing a little too fucking serious. Like, the fucking red and blue has no significance in our world. Not at all. It is only significant in your reality because you're locked into some bullshit and they're locked into some bullshit, and then you just go at each other. It's like, you got to let go of this fucking bullshit. And there is no fucking red or blue. There is no good or bad. And the dark and the light is just vibratory. It's not like, and then how do you determine? It's not how the people look at it that I say this stuff. The thing that is gonna divide is this, and I keep talking about this, but this is why. It's like the things that people say are just like, what? How do people not see? How are people so fucking lost? How are people so disconnected from themselves? They don't even see the spiritual thing that is happening on this planet. They don't even see things. So the divide is energetically, it's vibrational, and it is where you align. If you align with biases and hate and hierarchy and judgment, and you think, well, that person hurt me one time, fuck them, they're a piece of shit. Okay, well, that's where you're vibing. So that's your vibration. That's what is going to create the separation, is the vibration. So you're vibing on that, and then you think people should be controlled. People should be, there should be, and based on fear. And which today I did say to this guy, because this guy was like in this apartment, which his apartment looked empty as shit. But he said that him and his, I don't know, it seemed like his dog, that him and his dog got woke up. My nose is so itchy. And it runs all the motherfucking time. And I don't know where my handkerchief went. Oh, jeez. There it is. So, hold on. This is so driving me crazy. So, so he got woke up to the neighbors fighting, and you can hear them perfect. Like, you can hear what they're saying and stuff. And the girl keeps screaming, like she's screaming bloody murder. And the guy keeps saying something like, I guess apparently he caught her cheating. And now he's taken her phone and he won't let her leave or something. And so she's screaming and she wants her phone back. She wants him to move so she can leave. So whatever's going on over there, it sounds horrible. And the guy just keeps sitting there listening and kind of snickering, videotaping and stuff and being like, oh my God, she cheated. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, listen to them and stuff like that. And I'm like, it seems like the scenario where you should call the cops. Like, it's like, am I the only one who knows or notices that when cheating occurs, sometimes it's a death sentence for some people? Like, some people don't take it well. And especially when it sounds this horrific, and this girl definitely sounds distressed. It's like, yeah, maybe she's drama. Maybe she's a big drama queen. Maybe she deserves whatever, him yelling at her. I don't know. But to me, it sounds like a dangerous situation. And I was like, this seems like a kind of situation you should call the cops. It doesn't seem like, you should just sit there videotaping and showing everybody online. It's like, what is wrong with our society? This person, it's like the same thing as like this situation that happened. And I don't remember. It seems like it was in Chicago or something, but it was a big fucking psychological thing. But there was a girl being attacked and she was screaming and screaming for help. And it was like in a courtyard or something. So there's all these people in these apartments and people would turn on their lights and listen and then just turn off their lights. Nobody would do anything. Nobody did anything. Everybody figured, well, somebody else will do something. And nobody did anything. And she was KILLED right down there, right below them all. And so you can look up that whole thing because it was like a whole psychological study of like, well, why wouldn't people? And then there's more studies that splinter from that too, like the gang mentality. That's a whole fucking thing. It is when the people like join, because I've seen it even with the dogs, is like then others join in and they lose their minds. They go into this like other mindset. And so it becomes like a gang mentality, which I think even when you are a parent and you're outnumbered by your kids, sometimes they go into a gang mentality and they all just start picking on you and whatever. They become their own entity. I used to say that even about my kids. I used to be like, man, when you're outnumbered by your kids, they become their own little entity like a blob or something. They all just meld together. And they become this other force. It's weird. But anyways, there is other studies that come from that. But that literally happened. And then, you have all these people that are all just looking to go viral rather than, help somebody. There's constantly people in parking lots and shit watching some abuse happen. And they're just videotaping it. It's like, what is wrong? Like, why are we not stepping up? Why are we all just the city of the voyeurs? It's like we've become a voyeuristic kind of creep ass kind of group of people or something. It's like, I don't know. I'm not much of a voyeur. I'm much more of an action taker. I've jumped, I've come across fights and stuff in the street. And I've stepped up. Like I start saying, I try and break it up. I'll call the cops. I'll do whatever. I'm not going to just sit there and watch somebody be having their ass kicked by somebody. And one keeps coming to my mind of this 2:00 in the morning, and I was going out to my car, and near my car, this guy's just getting plummeted by this other guy. I was like, fuck no. He's like, bullshit on this, man. You fucking get the fuck off of him. Like, I go right at, and I know people like me end up getting themselves, like, KILLD'd by the psychopaths, but, what's meant to be is meant to be, but I can't do something that's going against my integrity. I'm definitely not just a voyeur. Oh, I'm just going to stand back here and videotape it so everybody can watch this horrendous thing happen. So, anyways, but the divide that it is like the escaping of the biases. It's like you got to let go of all of these biases and stuff. And where do they come from? Is fear, control. What does control come from? Fear. And so all of these things that you got to push back on, that's the healing process. And redesigning yourself and moving out of this energy that we are contained in, that is very much about control, hierarchy, division, hatefulness, victim mentality. All those things are lower vibration. All those things are the whole placeholders. That's what holds you in this place. And in order to move out of that, you got to let go of all those different things. So you have got to take action to move yourself out of these different distributors of these emotions and stuff. So that's why you got to look at your own biases. Why do I think these people have no value? What is it why I think they have no value and these people don't matter and I'm better than them? So you have got to go through that process in order to release that energy. That's what moves you out. That's the separation. It is separating the people who think that they're better than other people, and the people who have compassion and empathy. It's the people who want to be controlled and dominated versus the people who want to be free and experience make their own choices, their own decisions. Those are the energies separating. And it's so wacky how these people get it into this like good or bad, black or white right there. The world, the way of looking at the world as black and white is, it's like an ignorant view of the world. And yeah, there is the positive and the negative, but the positive and negative need each other in order to give the world the power to exist. And we, as the souls, go into the existence of all things so that we can experience ourselves. So it is a necessary means in order to have an expression of anything that is alive. It has to have the two opposing forces. And I've explained this before about the light needing the dark. Otherwise, all you see is light. You need the shadows in order to understand who and what you are. And so but in order to move back into the light, you have to, and that is the higher vibration, you have to purge out all of the dark that contains you. And so, and I've said before about the universe does not look at it like good or bad. They don't look at things like that. They don't look at you like you're a failure, you're not doing good. Even if you go through, 66 lives of going and doing the same shit over and over, the universe does not look at it, well, that's a lost cause. They don't look at it like that. They are just observing. There's an observation of, how long does it take? You are allowed by the universe to be you. And here we all try and control each other. Like we know better. We've got it all figured out. It's like, no, you've got to let everybody figure shit out for themselves. And I mean, that is where if you feel like you know better than they know of their own life, then that is where you create your own entanglement. And that is things like trying to control other people and thinking that you know better for them and stuff is like a place where you are creating like a karma for yourself, because it is not what we're meant to be. Independent, unique, sovereign beings that are going out and having different experiences. We're not meant to interfere. And that's where you have, in this realm, you have the interference of people using kids, using other people and stuff like that. That's an interference. And you're interfering into this person's existence. And then we do have interferences that are pre-planned, and so that we can go in to experience all of it from different perspectives. But you still, things are like in your heart. So you go and you do something that is interfering into somebody else's, and you think that you know better and you're smarter. That is your ego and stuff. And that's where you'd have to go in and learn more things. So that would be like your karmic debt of what you're putting out has to come back to you so that you can see it clearly. And so however you act or react, or however you expose yourself in the different lives is what sets your your motion of existence like. And so it is like going forward, going backward, going forward, going backward, going forward, going backward. And so it is because although they are like set plans, like, we come into play these different roles for one another, there still is a part of you that is there to learn about you. And so however you act or react or overreact or whatever your reactions are, depending on what is coming from your heart and soul, then that puts you into the next kind of space of the range of experience. And so if you were there to learn, like why that doesn't work out, like why you shouldn't be controlling others and why you shouldn't be taking advantage of others and stuff. So it just, it has a way of it working, like it works. It's just the way it works. And so it isn't, like I said, it's not like one person standing up there deciding, oh, well, he did a good job today, I think I'll give him some good. Oh, no, he's a shit. No, it's not like that at all. And there is no heaven and well, there's higher vibration than this, obviously, what we would consider the heavens, but it's a whole bunch of different levels of the space outside of this existence, because this is the lower vibrational reality, which is more in the dark. So to me, it, like when you look at it, it's like a range in color. And so you take the dark, which we're in dark, if you ask me. So if you take like a range in color, a gradients of color, so you put like black down here, and then you take all of the range to work your way up to the light, where the light is just, like I said, it's just like the light is the purity. There's a pureness to it. And so you don't see anything. And like Matthias de Stefano, he had said that it is when you're at the highest vibration of light, which a lot of people think of as heaven or whatever, it is where it's the great void. It's the void, because there's no judgment. There's nothing. You're just in this void. And that would be just the light. Just like when you look at a light bulb and all you can see is light. So it's the void. And so in the void, that he said is where you go to the question of, well, who and what am I? What is this place? Where am I? What am I doing? Who am I? And that is what sends you into, it's like the descending into understanding of who and what you are. And so in the great void, which a lot of people think of as heaven, is really just like an emptiness. It's like there's nothing there. It's just like the light at the point of the brightest point. And so we don't just go up there and just hang out in that, where people think like, but that is where there is no judgment, because the universe does not judge. And so on all the levels to get to that point is where you are leaving that. You are letting those things go in order to reach that point. So if you take the gradation of color, so you take the darkest, and then you're moving over to the lightest. So the darkest is the heaviest, the lightest is the void, and then you have all of the spectrum in between. And so in all the spectrum in between is all the vibration. It's all of us. It's all of our resonance. It's where we are in this whole scheme of things, of trying to understand who and what we are and where do we come from and what are we doing here. And so it's all the colors in between are the whole, the entirety of all resonance and vibration. And so you can land in any of that, but you can't go to some place where you do not vibrate. So if you are stuck down in all low vibration and you can't overcome a lot of this hatred and division and your hierarchy and your lack of morals and integrity, then it binds you, like you're held down by your own way of seeing yourself. It doesn't allow you to move out from seeing yourself, but so you go through all these processes to see more of yourself, to expand yourself. So that is what starts moving you into other vibrations. When you go into other vibrations, then everyone is all of the different lightness as it lightens up. That is where you find more of the the purity that we're looking for, where the acceptance, the love, the feeling like you're accepted for who you are, the unique part of you. But see, it all has to go through the shedding of the darkness in order to get into the lightness. But it isn't, to me, it's not like we want to get to the lightest light. It's like we left from the lightest light to come in to try and understand us. It's up when you get into these lighter vibrations of and that's where you find all these other realms of these higher vibrating beings. And so like the Pleiades or whatever, the Lyria or whatever, all these places where these people are like highly spiritual and a lot more advanced than us, they are up in the lighter zones. And so, and that's where we're down in the dark. And wherever we reside, like wherever our higher self is, which is probably all the way to the void, is then you are moving yourself through these different experiences to bring yourself back to self, which is probably the void, is probably where your higher self exists, and you're moving your way through there. But it's not like a race. It's not like you're trying to hurry, because you're trying to experience. So you're experiencing every possibility, everywhere, every chance you get. And so, the concept of like, oh, I don't ever want to reincarnate again. Well, that's ignorance. That's fear. That's not understanding. And so but once we break out of this, so once we do the cleansing of this and we separate from this energy that is like tar trying to pull you back in, and once we separate from that, then, which to me too, also the great gray halls or whatever is in that more grayish area. But then once we go past the grayish, then it becomes more lighter. But still, it's not like you want to just go to the void of being, you want to stay in different realms of existence, which most of us come from different, like let's say, even like when you descend out of the void and you go to try and understand who and what you are, you probably don't just drop straight down into the depths of hell, into where we are. You take baby steps. Like you go down and you go through experiences, like say, like I think this is where you get this idea, a lot of star seeds and stuff like that, light workers and stuff, because they come from these other realms of existence where they reside in a higher loving place. It's almost like you come into the depths to learn about hate and division and all that stuff, but then you have to purge it out of your system to rise back up and let it go. And so many people like get trapped by it. But it is because there's a lot of higher beings that, from what I have heard, is there's a lot of higher beings that they don't just go into like the whole reincarnation cycle of what we go into, like entering into the earth school or whatever, that they don't all go down into the depths of hell in order to learn. And some just ride it out up in the higher realms. But that's the whole thing too of them, the observation, the witnessing, the watching, because we, those of us who go down into the depths of hell and work our way out of it, then we learn, we expand things. We are expanding the knowledge of the universe. So it still has a very major role in the universe of expansion. But not all the souls all go there. Some of the souls stay in the space of love and light, where they don't go down and experience like hate and having to peel it off of you, and what drives it, and all of the bad things that happen to people down here. And so it's like a whole different world, but this is the part where we're breaking free from it. And so we are expanding away from that. That's the separation. The separation is pulling yourself free from the dark. And what does the dark mean? It means about hate and hierarchy, judgment, division, victim. That is such a big one. Everybody's like, oh, it's their fault I feel this way. Well, my life would suck if it weren't for them. That is going to hold you back, man. That's why you got to go into this stuff and look at it deeper and heal it and let go of it. And so, and I don't know how much time we have left on this whole fucking thing. I think it would seem to me that there's going to be, some significant things that are going to give people opportunity to heal some stuff. But I don't know. I don't know when this separation is coming. I mean, it's coming at some point. I don't know if Sammy Hagar had the time right and it's coming in 2026. And I don't know what month, what day, what year. It's the same thing as like where they say in the Bible of like, nobody knows the time or the date of the rapture, which the rapture would be the separation. And then it talks about it in the book of 1, the separation, only it's called the harvest. I think a lot of beings, a lot of prophecy and stuff has always been telling us at the point in time where the separation occurs. It's called different things at different times. And a common term is the ascension. And that is where you ascend out of the dark. But you have to let go. You have to push the dark off of you. And you have to focus on how is the dark holding me here? How is it holding me there? And pull yourself into that freedom mentality and to yourself as a sovereign being and stuff. So it's a process. And but not everybody's here for the same thing. So some people are here for that process. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of taunting, really. But not everybody's here for the same thing. But every single soul is going through something, some kind of expansion in their lesson plan. So it's something that is a positive thing for everybody, but it's not that everybody's not going to the same place. It depends on, where you vibrate. But anyways, I mean, I feel like I explain it over and over, and I feel like I'm telling you guys when it's these other people, but definitely it is that is the occurrence. But to me, it still seems like all these little things keep happening, and it is to push things, to get you to think about things, to get you to, think about your morals, it's to get you to question things. And so all these different things happening, Candace, Megan, Donald, Charlie, all these things happening is not so you get caught up in the drama and get caught up in all of the shenanigans. It's so it gets you to think and think outside the box and look at things different. That's what that whole letter, the whole Q thing was about, was, question reality, question it. What is this? What does it all mean and stuff? And you got to go into it deeper, into the spiritual side of reality, which is, the part that they tell you isn't real, but that's the part that you need to focus on. And because this other is the trapping, is to sit here and be all caught up in every drama and be paying attention on stuff like it fucking matters. There's none of this shit matters. None of it's real. It's about to even fucking end. So it's just how you maneuver through it and how you learn how to, it's like, what steps do you take to climb the mountain? It's like, it's you who has to figure out how to maneuver this. It's just like what is that? Like traverse the mountainside, like rock climbing. You got to figure out which rocks you're going to step on in order to get your way up to the top. And so it's an individual process. And that's why you got to go more in. But you do have like a guidance. You have guides that are there to help you through it. And I mean, they'll even tell you things like foghorn, get a foghorn. We'll tell you that, So I'm thinking there's got to be something that's really going to work about this. But I'm going to just blast that sound. And when there's something that is like, well, we don't want that blast. And so, to get it to be like, well, I don't want that. I don't want to hear that sound. So, and that's the only, I was trying to think of more about, especially when there's like violence involved. So anyways, we'll see how that goes. But the most important thing to be focusing on is yourself and purging out the dark, pulling yourself free out of these mindsets that have been created for you. And they've done it so insidiously with this whole movement, cutting people out of your life. That's the worst thing you can do. I mean, you need to have boundaries. You may not want to be going and seeing these people all the time, but you can't just be like, well, they bother me, I'm cutting them out of their life. I can't handle them, I'm cutting them out. Like, I'm going to set rules for every single person who wants to be around me. It's like you are creating your own box. You're putting yourself in a prison. And, you got to use the people who are meant to come into your orbit, your transits. Use those people when they come in so that you can they're bringing you an offering. And so the offering comes wrapped in a way you may not like it, but it is so that you can see yourself more clearly and see what are your triggers. What is it that bothers you? How do you get through that? Why do you feel this way? And I just know that like there's some important things like boundaries and stuff like that are helpful, but that was a part of my journey. May not be the same. We all are here for different journeys, but we do all need to take a harder look at ourselves. It's the dissection of self. It's really trying to understand yourself at the core and to release the things that aren't in alignment with the positive. And to me, it seems like clear to be able to recognize the negative. But when you still have people that are in the, good or bad, it's like, it depends on which side of the fucking room you're on. What's good and what's bad. It's like that is absurd. There is no good or bad. It doesn't exist. And so, it depends on how much you're going to keep yourself in limitation of an understanding. So anyways, it's better to go bigger, broaden your perspective, look bigger, look outside the box, look outside the yard, look everywhere you can to try and understand. And you probably want to go into things that seem really wacky. So that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts for the day. I told you I feel like really, so anyways, it's the most important thing as far as I'm concerned is, this, well, that's what I'm here for. So of course it's the most important thing to me, what concerns me is the letting go of the dark and moving towards the light, and, letting go of hostility, letting go of anger, letting go of resentment, and moving into a space of connection and compassion and empathy, because everybody out there is struggling. Everybody out there is broken and having a hard time. And so we need to have compassion and empathy for everybody, even, little gangs of kids that go around beating people. So, anyways, but, the world is a little crazy. So, and it's getting crazier by the moment because the energy and is bringing all of this hostility up to the surface, and you've got to be able to maneuver through it. You got to be able to work through it and work it out and let it go. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. And those of us who are trying to tell people, they're blocking us. So, anyways, that's what I got to say about it. So, learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody, learn how to have the day you want to have. That's the direction I'm going. That's the only thing I know how to talk about. So anyways, that's what I got to say about it. So we'll see what this day brings us. Now it's Wednesday. I know what it's going to bring me, some groceries. So I'm going to be heading out at some point this morning and go get my stuff. Ruthie's going to spend some time in the cage. And, so anyways, I'm sure today will be a hectic day. Because once I get back, the dogs act like, I've been gone for a year. So, and then I got all my groceries to put away and stuff. So anyways, but we'll see. at some point I'll go and check, but sometimes my algorithm is all jacked. So it's like you don't really know what's going on. And then who knows, like even if Mount Rainier goes, are we going to know? Even if it's an earthquake fucking knocked off California, are we going to feel it over here? Is the sky going to go black? But the sky is wild here. I'll tell you that. It is wild. So anyways, we'll see what this day brings us and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.